Hello there, people of the internet. How is everybody doing today? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. So today I'm out here with a rifle that I've wanted to check out for quite some time. This right here is the Egyptian Hakim rifle. This right here is something that would put Garantham to absolute shame. So let me go ahead and talk about this rifle here a little bit. This is based off of the Swedish Ludman. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but if I am not, I apologize about that. The Egyptians actually wanted the Lumen rifle, but chambered for 8mm, and that's basically what the Hakim is. Now, I do not read Egyptian, so there's a lot of markings on this rifle that I am unable to really tell what it is. I also do not have the key to adjust the gas system on this thing, so hopefully the gas system is right where we need it to be. Alright, now anybody watching this video basically knows that the Hakim is a finger snatcher, but let me go ahead and show some finger snatching. So this thing is really unique. I mean, it's the only rifle I've ever seen that has a slide on it like this. You actually have to push the slide forward in order for the slide to catch onto the bolt, and then you pull it to the rear, and whenever you get to the rear of the receiver, that bolt snaps forward, and if you have your finger in there, it'll take your finger with it. Now, normally what would happen with a Hakim rifle is if the rifle is on safe, then you would not have to worry about the bolt coming forward and slamming into your finger. Or if the rifle has an empty magazine, you wouldn't have to worry about that either. This rifle is a little bit more on the sketchier side from what I've been able to tell, so I'm going to show you how it loads, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to load it. So, the rifle actually is currently on safe, and you'll notice that the bolt is still flying forward. Now, if I stick the rifle over on fire, occasionally the bolt won't go home, but for the most part, it'll still do it. So we definitely have something going on with the safety in this thing, and with the empty magazine here not locking the bolt open, that really leaves me to question what's going on with this rifle. So there will probably be a point in time where I'm firing this thing like a bolt action and not like a semi-automatic. A lot of times, especially with the safety off, whenever you slam the bolt home, it will in fact close up. But there's times where it will not. And looking at it, the safety is not quite where it's supposed to be. If I line it up properly, then I can get it to lock back safely. But I don't really trust that. So I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Let me show you guys how this thing loads. Or how this thing is supposed to load. So it loads from 5-round Mauser stripper clips. These are just standard stripper clips. What you actually do with this strange stripper clip contraption here is this actually holds the clip in place. You would take your clip, lay it on top of the contraption, and then just roll it down. And that contraption will actually hold your clip in place so you can go ahead and load your rounds into your magazine. I'm not going to load those in there because I don't want that bolt to come flying forward and smash me in the finger. So with the rifle on safe, our bolt flies forward. With the rifle on fire, our bolt still flies forward. It's more occasional, but with where the safety is supposed to be, right there, kind of like 3/4 in the middle of the way, that's where our safe point is. But there's no notch there and no spring tension to keep it there, so I'm going to go ahead and not load this magazine from the top of the rifle. I am instead just going to straight up remove the magazine from the bottom of the rifle, and I will load it outside of the rifle. Alright, today's ammunition of choice is Hansen full metal jackets. This stuff is 198 grain. The reason I'm using Hansen full metal jacket here is simply because this is non-corrosive ammunition, and cleaning corrosive salt out of the gas system of the Hakim rifle that's a nightmare and a half. So we are specifically using non-corrosive ammunition, so we don't have to go ahead and worry about that. Now, just because I am not entirely an expert on the system functionality of this rifle, I am a little bit worried about out-of-battery detonations, with the safety being on the more sketchy side and being an integral part of the way this firearm functions. But I don't think that we're going to have any problems with that, and if we do, my god, I'm sure I'll notice really, really quick with an 8mm Mauser round detonating out of battery. But like I said, I don't think we're going to have any problems with that. Just something I'm acknowledging. Though instead, what is much more likely is the bolt may not go home every single time. So I may have to operate it like a bolt action on some occasions, but let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and load up. I'm gonna load 1 round. I'm gonna load 1 round in case this thing detonates. This way I don't have 5 rounds worth of detonation in my face. So I'm borrowing this rifle from a buddy of mine. I don't know if I said that or not, but he has actually never fired this rifle, so he is just as excited about seeing this rifle go as I am. So here's what's gonna happen. We got 1 round in our mag. Going to load that up into our chamber there, or up into our receiver. We're going to pull this back and see if she goes home. Okay, so she is not going home. There we go, she went home that time. Well, the extractor works, at least. That's a big plus. And judging by the ejector, I'd say that this thing is going to absolutely launch into the stratosphere. All right, well, let's go ahead. Got the round back into the magazine, just testing functionality there. Let's go ahead, launch it home, take this rifle off of safe because it was on safe. I'm going to go ahead and hold this rifle up away from my head, send a round downrange, and we're going to see what we're working with. This is what I do with rifles that can be a little on the sketchier side. I want to see if we have any brass, explosion, expansion. I want to see if the bolt actually goes home. It does not seem to lock open on an empty magazine. Let's see what happens. All right, I'm just going to hold this right up here just like this. Fire away. Well, we fired. The bolt cycled. My God, that was a hell of an impact. Did we extract? We extracted successfully. I smell all sorts of gun oil burning off here. If I had to make an assumption, I would say our 8mm Mauser round is probably somewhere over next to Jupiter. I have no idea where it ran off to. All right, well, as expected, we had no out-of-battery detonation, but just with that safety being the way that it was, I wanted to go ahead and play it safe on that. Get this out of the way so I can get this magazine out of here. Alright, now the Hakim rifle is extraordinarily heavy and the recoil is not that bad. I think that actually holding it up above my head was worse than the actual firing of the rifle. So now we have 4 rounds in the magazine, and now is where the real fun begins. So we are sighted for squiggly, and there's a number 4 and a slightly squigglier number 4 look-alike. It's like a backwards 4 almost. Then there's a 3, a 0, a backwards 7. No, a regular 7, just kind of slanted, and upwards, and upside down a pyramid, a 9, and a 1 with a star. So we are currently at squiggly lightning bolt distance. I'm gonna go ahead, just aim down range right at our still silhouette, pull the trigger, and we're going to see what the rifle does. Ooh, mama. Okay, well, we fired, we successfully cycled, we successfully ejected. Let me check. Saw our spent casing fly in this direction like an absolute madman. Well, I was hoping to find that casing. I'm sure that I'll find one of them eventually, especially if it detonates on a battery and goes into my face. I'll definitely find it at that point. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and put this right there. And my God, this is scary. All right, now that that's there, go ahead and send that bolt back home. I'm gonna launch more lead at the steel silhouette. Oh, goodness gracious. Ow. The ejecting 8mm Mauser bolt, or Mauser shell, absolutely just smacked the crap out of my hand. But we are ejecting, so I know I know that the casings are going in this direction. I could feel it. Let me go ahead and make sure my fingers are completely out of the way now. Alright, well, we made all of our hits on target. Looks like we're hitting a little bit high. I feel like this thing is over-gassed because it is smacking itself pretty good, but we should be good for a couple of rounds. I'm gonna see if I can find one of those casings. Probably the one that's gonna give me one hell of a bruise on my ring finger here. This one right here. Okay, so I found 3 different shells. We do have a little bit of deformation on them. It looks like we have just a little bit of a crink. My bet is it's probably smacking into the receiver or something while it's coming out. I'm gonna go grab a pair of pliers and see if I can finagle this gas system to go ahead and close it up just a little bit, because this is commercial ammunition that we are firing and it is a little bit on the hot side, and I don't want to beat this thing up too terribly bad. We did make all of our hits on target. Like I said, it seems like we're firing a little bit high. My finger hurts. That was definitely not a fun experience. And I want to show you guys this. My God, this caught me completely off guard whenever I walked out there. Alright, so this is a hole that I made with a 7.62x39 the other day. And this is a hole from the 8mm Mauser round. Good Lord, for a little perspective, here's my fist inside of this hole. That is absolutely unbelievable. Okay, I went ahead and I readjusted our gas system. It was pretty wide open there, probably about the 6:30 position, 6:30 o'clock position. I went ahead and I stuck it about the 8 o'clock position. The 10 o'clock position is completely cut off, so I'm gonna try 8. If it still feels a little too rough, I'm gonna bring it up to about 9. But I get the feeling that 8 should be about where it is that we want it. So I'm going to go ahead. I have ourselves a magazine already loaded up. I'm going to load this Hakim. Alright. Got the old earmuffs on. Got 5 rounds of ammunition in this thing. I'm going to go ahead and just fire like 2. See how it feels? Because I only have this one box of non-corrosive 8mm Mauser ammunition, so... Alright, let's go ahead, close that, put it on fire, and send her around downrange and see if she cycles. Well, she fired. Looks like we did have some sort of malfunction here. Alright, so she did fire, but we had a failure to extract. It may have closed the gas system up just a wee bit too much, or maybe this right here is just what am I trying to say here? A sticky round. I'm not sure how old this ammunition is. So let's go ahead, send another round downrange and see if it cycles this time. Keep my fingers out of the way because this thing seems to like to eject in that direction. It launched out probably, I don't know, 7 to 10 feet. They were consistently flying out in that direction, so that's a good sign. Alright, well, we fired, and did we cycle? That's the big question. Let me put this right here so that doesn't come flying back. We did not cycle. Alright, so I may have closed the gas system up just a little too much. Of course, this is a fantastic way to save brass. This is reloadable brass. So let me go ahead and pull the magazine out of this thing just in case that bolt slams forward. This way I'm not dealing with a hot weapon. So magazine is out, chamber is clear, let's readjust that gas system, open it up just a hair. Okay, gas system, I opened it up just a hair. We were getting partial cycling of our bolt, but it wasn't enough to fully eject, so now we should have some better results. Let's go ahead, take this off of safe, and lob some lead down range. Looks like we are hitting high, so I'm aiming at the bottom of the steel out there. Alright, well we hit it. Did we cycle though? That's the big question. We did not, so let me readjust this just a little bit more. I just stuck a live round in there. Let me bring this back to our safe position, which is not really a position at all. Once again, remove this magazine. I'm getting pretty good at removing these Hakim magazines, I tell you what. Okay, that right there should do us pretty good. Now we're rocking about the 7 o'clock position, maybe 7:15. Should be good enough for launching these rounds. Let's see if this one cycles. Sending it. That one felt good. I think I saw it fly that way. Did we cycle? Aha, we did cycle. And the recoil was very, very minimal, so I think that we found ourselves a good position to be in. Let's see if this ejects properly. It did, it really did. Okay, here we go. I found the brass that just ejected. We are no longer having any issues with ejection. I don't see any problems with that at all. Let's set this over here. Okay, now that we have the gas system all figured out, let me go ahead and load up a few more rounds into this thing. One of the conditions for me firing this rifle was to, or any of the rifles that I'll be borrowing from this guy. What the hell is that? I've got white stuff all over my finger here. I have no idea what that is. Hopefully it's not toxic. Ah, I know what that is. It's probably spray paint from whenever I painted the target out there. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. All right, I have another 5 rounds inside of this magazine. Let's go ahead, lob a couple rounds downrange, make sure that she's cycling all right, and then we're gonna step out to a little further distance. I'll set up camera B and we'll send some lead downrange from a fair distance away. All right, safety is on, so this should smack forward just like that. Safety is now off. Let's send a few rounds and see how well this old girl cycles. Launching lead. Oh my goodness, every time I fire this, I feel the, we did not cycle all the way. My bet we failed to extract. I bet this right here, the gas system has to be adjusted just a hair more. Yep, failed to extract. Let me pull this magazine. That failure to extract is actually a feature. It is the brass saving feature. It is built into the Hakim rifle. You have brass saving feature on and brass saving feature off. Let me go ahead and turn it off so I can launch the lead. Okay, just a little bit more adjustment. I'm just walking this thing in hair by hair. Okay, well, the bolt decided to go forward and it's ready to shoot. So let's send it, see if she cycles. Keep my fingers out of the way of that ejection port. Whew. I think we fired high on that one. Another failure to extract. This one's nice and warm. I like that. Let me open that up just a little bit more because, man, that was barely a failure to extract. Alright, I think we finally got it. I can feel this one in the old wobbly bits. Let's set this to safe so she flies forward and takes her thumb off. I want to put another round in the ground. I want to see if we get the same results that we got last time. My God, that is tremendously powerful. Still failure to extract. I can't get over the ungodly holes that this 8mm Mauser ammunition puts into the dirt there. Let's send another at the steel. Oh, I guess it'd probably help if I had the safety off on this thing. Oh, mama. Did we cycle? I feel like that time we actually cycled. Yep, we actually cycled this rifle. Man, yeah, we're cycling it and launching the lead probably about 7 feet that way. We are at about the 7 o'clock position, maybe 6:50. Somewhere in there, either way, it is not quite as gas as it was whenever we had started this escapade. So that probably explains why it is much more comfortable to fire now. Yeah, these 2 rounds landed right next to each other out here. So we are definitely getting some consistent fire. All of my brass is landing right here. That's a good sign. You know what's hilarious? The 2 rifles that are very notorious for hurting your fingers are rifles that I have gone out of my way to make sure I do not hurt myself on. The Hakim and the M1 Garand. And yet with the Hakim rifle, I still managed to hurt my finger in a way that had nothing to do with the operating system of this rifle. I had a shell fly out and hit my finger, and man, does it hurt. And with the M1 Garand, I hurt my thumb, my loading thumb, but not on the operating system of the M1 Garand. I actually had a wasp sting my thumb the first time I started using it. It's just a tradition with the rifles that are supposed to hurt you. With me, I'm gonna get hurt, whether or not the rifles are hurting me or whatever the hell. It's just what happens. Okay, I'm gonna set up camera B, we're gonna step out to a distance, and we're gonna lob some lead downrange and see what happens. Okay, well, we're sitting out here roughly 100 yards or so, approximately, rough estimations. Let me find my magazine here. Readjust our camera there. Now, I have 4 rounds loaded into this magazine. Some of the astute among you will notice that leaves me with 2 rounds out of my 20-round box. Those are for a friend of mine. I want him to try this rifle, and I don't want to use any surplus corrosive 8mm Mauser ammunition, and this is all the non-corrosive stuff that I have. So we're out here at about 100 yards. I see my steel silhouette down there. That's what we're aiming for. let's load this up and hopefully we won't have any brass pop back and hit me in the face. That's exactly what's gonna happen right there. Okay, let me come on over here then. Do I have to adjust the camera? I probably should. Okay, over here, yeah, that looks about right. Let me go ahead and send some lead downrange from this position right here. Oh, I think we hit it. I heard something go kabloosh. I have no idea if we're hitting it or not. Whenever I was shooting it, this thing looked like it was firing either left or right. Well, it looked like it was firing significantly left, so I'm gonna aim to the right a little bit and see if we hit it, maybe. I'm pretty sure we hit the rim on that one. I just, over time, I recognize what hitting the rim sounds like. I definitely have plenty of rim time on that thing. Oh, mama. I don't know if we hit any of those rounds, but we cycled all of our ammunition. Oh, hey, she's actually staying open in the fire position. That's fantastic. Whew. That is a beast of a rifle to hold up like that. I have no idea how the Egyptians did it. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for watching me run this Hakim, and I did not once smash my finger with the bolt. I hurt my finger in this episode, and I'm letting stuff fall because of the wind. That's fine. You want to hang out there? Go ahead. I know there's a couple of videos that have come out recently where people have purposefully given themselves grand thumb. Well, if you people doing that want a challenge, then by all means, let me know. Okay, well, do you guys have any additional information to add with your Hakim rifles maybe, or anything on my Hakim rifle, my camera B over here? Let me go ahead and turn this off so the battery doesn't die. No, don't take a screenshot, god damn it. Stupid smart technology. Anyway, folks, if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel, because as you can see from the car down there, I do this kind of stuff all the time. If you like the video, do me a favor and actually like the video. That helps out with the algorithm. Description down below is going to have a link to all sorts of different stuff. Go ahead and go check that out, including an email sign up. That is my just in case, you know, way to go. In case anything happens to this channel. That being said, I've got like 4 or 5 other videos that I have to do today, so I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for watching. I really did enjoy checking out this Hakim rifle. You guys go off, have a fantastic day. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. Shame that bolt action shotguns aren't more mainstream.